WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Yellowstone, the family recipe, aged 6 years, Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. Yay! Now, you notice a little bit of reluctant excitement there. This has on the back, that's what I was looking for when I first bought this as well. It says here, distilled and aged in Kentucky. Bottled by Limestone Branch Distillers in Lebanon, Kentucky. Now, I watched a video, I think a year or two ago, of the Limestone Branch Distillery. Back then, they were producing basically a barrel a day. That's what the Evan Williams Experience produces in the heart of Louisville. That's not very much. All right, so this is not produced at the Limestone Branch Distillery. Sorry, it would say distilled by the Limestone Branch Distillery, doesn't it? It says distilled and aged in Kentucky. So, and then there's something else that really, really bothers me. I want to read the back of the label. I'm going to comment on that. It says here, in your hands is the culmination of a long personal journey to unearth the original Yellowstone recipe. After years of searching, it was found locked away in an old suitcase. Wow, Grandpa's suitcase. Really? I mean, come on. Beneath a pile of scribbled mash bills was a notebook where my grandfather, Guy Beam, had scribbled it so many years ago. Why do I and again? So in the press release, they did give the mash bill. So the mash bill here is 75% corn. It is, where can I find this here? Wait, there it is. It is 13% rye and it's 12% malted barley. By the way, do you know what other mash bill has exactly the same ingredients? Jim Beam. Jim Beam that is used for the white label, Jim Beam that is used for the Bookers, Jim Beam that is used for the Knob Creek, Jim Beam that is used for the Bakers. Now, the Yellowstone, we're talking about Guy Beam, belonging to the Beam family. I really have a very, very, very hard time believing that they had to rediscover the mash bill that's been used for basically almost 200 years. All right, let's say at least since Prohibition. So almost 100 years now. Let's go for 100 years, all right? So Beam has been using that mash bill now for about 100 years, and they, the Beam family over at Yellowstone, had to rediscover exactly the same mash bill. I just don't get it. I'm sorry, all right? So limited edition, 36,000 bottles. I'm not sure if that's limited. I mean, every release has about 10, 20, 50,000 bottles, and then you go to the next batch, but hey, all right. Now, what could be the case is that they might have actually used, not sure, used their real, that they rediscovered their yeast strain. All right, so I know the Jim Beam here probably uses a different yeast strain than this. Now, was this made by Beam? Not necessarily. Could be, but I just know that this is the same mash bill as this, and we rediscovered it. What also is a little bit of a disappointment for me, if I go to the Whiskybase number, I have the Whiskybase number 221964, and I have to pay in Germany about 75 euros for this bottle. In the Netherlands, it's 64 euros, so it's 11 euros less for the exact same bottle. Now, Germany and the Netherlands have basically exact same taxes for excise and for VAT, value-added tax. It's not that. It's the distributor. All right, so this is a 750 milliliter bottle. So over here, we do have the importer. We have to have the importer, the address in Europe here, and that is Perola GmbH, which is a limited here in Germany. They are the importer of this, and they're taking more money, or putting more money in their pockets, apparently, than the people in the Netherlands. So did I buy it in the Netherlands? No. Should I have bought it? Yes. And I'm sorry I did not. All right, so that always kind of angers me as well, that we have in Europe such different prices due to our different importers. And especially when you look at, for example, Diageo special releases, it is disgusting the differences for those same bottles across different countries in the European Union. I mean, we're talking 30% to even more differences. Just depends on what country you're in, just depends on what importer marks it up even more. And I don't think that should there. I think there should be similar, almost same prices all over the same continent. But hey, in America, you have the same problem with one state, a control state, great prices, the next state not, New York, wherever, Florida, California, and they jack up the prices. I know you have the same problem, and maybe you're exactly as frustrated as I am as a consumer there. All right, good. So this bottle here has a lot of legends going on, and maybe the bottle is good. Now, online, I've had very varying reviews. I've had some people love this bottle enthusiastically with 4.5 on 5 stars. That would be, for example, the Whiskey Jug. If we go over here to the Whiskey Wash, they basically said it's a 3 of 5. Use it as a mixer. But it isn't a solo artist, all right? And so that's fine. That's fine. So let's see what I think about this, all right? So it does honor the 150th anniversary of the distillery. I'm not even going to say distillery. I'm going to say actually the distillery was founded in 2010. So it actually honors then the brand, Limestone branch here. And so Lexco. All right, so MGP, Lexco, all those different brands we know, Yellowstone is part of that family. So was it maybe distilled at the Lex Row Distillery using the Beam mash bill? That would be my guess. All right, so if I had to pick one guess there, that would be there. Now, the nose is very interesting. Just going very briefly over here. All right, so there is a similarity, but why am I using this old bottle? Now, this is no longer the 9-year-old. We now in Germany, at least in Europe, have the Knob Creek 9-year-old again. But I picked this on purpose because I wanted a bottle that's between 6 and 8 years of age to compare to 6-year-old. I wanted 50%, 50%. What really also sometimes bothers me is this could be a bottle and bond product. It's not. This could have been a bottle and bond product, but it's not. Bottle and bond has the rule that you have to put on the label the place it is distilled, and it can only be distilled at one single distillery. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Straight does not mean single. If you come from Ireland, you come from Scotland, you even come from Europe, single malt means one distillery. Straight means one state. So you can literally take 40 different distilleries, take barrels, put them all together, make your own brand, and call it a straight whiskey. The only time you have to call it a blend of straight whiskeys if you cross state lines. So you take something from Indiana, you take something from Kentucky, you put them together. They were both straight in their own states, but then you put them together. It's a blend of straight whiskeys. So, but they don't do that. They don't say that this is a bottle and bond product, because then you'd have to put the one distillery it was made at, might have been more than one, and you'd have to put the DSP number of the bottling site and the distilling site on here. And then it would be very evident for everyone. Look, there's 2 different places. And the same thing happens, by the way, in my opinion here with Beam. I do not think everything's made in Claremont. They have other distilleries as well where they pump out a lot of juice for their small batch series of Basil Hayden, of Knob Creek, of Bakers and Bookers and so on. It's not wrong. We just can't buy into the romance of one distillery makes all the products of one brand. Unless it's bottle and bond. Bottle and bond, yes. So, now on the nose again, I do get a nice sweetness, but I get baking spices. We have the cinnamon, we have the clove. I get a little bit of like an orange. At Christmas, my ex-wife used to cut up oranges, slices, put in the oven, bake them, and then hang them on the Christmas tree. I get a little bit of that. I get a little bit of caramel, a little bit even burnt caramel. There's a little bit of funkiness going on here. There's a little bit of a greenness going on here as well. All right, good. Going over to the Knob Creek. More of the pecan, more of the nuttiness, more of the bourbonness that I love and like. I'm not a great fan of Knob Creek. There are other products that I like much more. Eagle Rare, Four Roses Single Barrel in that price class. Even Buffalo Trace I prefer. But there's less alcohol in the 50% here. There's more alcohol here. It burns a little bit more. It's a little bit younger. It's a little bit more of a tree sap going on here. Maybe even a little bit of cut. Like you just mowed your lawn and that green grass goo on the bottom of the lawnmower, getting a little bit of that. Cheers. Mm. Mm. That's hot. It's hot for the 50%, in my opinion. It's not burning. It's not terrible, but there's heat. There's more heat than there's going to be over here. Um, I do get a lot of cinnamon, a lot of clove, but that I mentioned that fresh cut mowing your lawn moment. Imagine you just mowed the lawn and it had rained before, or you didn't wait until the dew had left the lawn, and you still mowed in that clumps of grass together that's been mushed. A little bit mate is what I'm getting here. I'm not a big fan of that. This is not a whiskey that I will gravitate to. This is not a whiskey I will rebuy. This is not a whiskey that I will freely pour into my glass again. I'm doing a bottle share. I have done a bottle share, and I'm very, very grateful. So many people talk to me and said, Jason, have you tried the great new family recipe here from Yellowstone? It's from their own distillery. No, I haven't, and no, it's not. All right. And so I had to buy the bottle, do the video, and tell the world out there, at least in Germany, and now you as well. This is source product. This is interesting, weird, but it's definitely not my ballpark. Other people really liked it. Other people really, really praised it. If I go to the Whiskey Jug, they actually say here 4.5 of 5. They do talk about that grassy note as well. They do talk about the earthiness from the oak and the leather notes, about the richness from the spice and the dessert notes, a little bit of brightness from the fruit, and a twisting layer of intrigue with that Earl Grey bergamot note going on there. Okay, very, very good. I don't get that. And it says here by Whiskey Jug, in a nutshell, the Yellowstone Family Recipe Bourbon 6 years is as fantastic as it is unique. It's definitely unique. It goes off there in left field, and for me, it drifts into an area that I don't like. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that go, oh yeah, this is fantastic. This is different. This is great. It's different, but it's not great for me. So it's not what I want. But that's what bourbon's all about. It's about different taste profiles, different flavor profiles, and different things we like. I added a little bit of water in my German video. It does bring out more of that earthiness that's involved in there. It's an okay product, but it's a C- in my book. All right, I do not prefer that taste. It goes in that weird direction there. And the last thing I must complain about, I'm going to use the word complain here because 75 euros. It's not worth that for me. In America, it's I don't even see a price for this anywhere. So unfortunately, I wish there was a price someplace. Let's go up here to on retail for about $70. All right, so $70, 75 euros. Is it worth it? No. I would much rather have the Knob Creek and other brands as well. So little tiny sip of this. What surprises me is the 50% over here, how soft and silky it is compared to this. This packs some heat. This has more typical bourbon notes. It does have more of that nuttiness going on in there, which some people really like. But both of these products, if I were to go, I can get literally 3 0.7 bottles of this for the price of one of these at the moment over here. I have found this online for 24 euros, 75. So I can literally get 3 bottles of the Knob Creek for one of these. This is what I would bring to party, put it up on the bar, say enjoy, take it. I would leave it there, not even have a thought. This, leaving the bottle $75 or euros, ouch. I would not do that, all right? So my question of the day, value for money, D. All right, D for value for money, C minus is my ranking here for the taste. My question of the day is, what 50%, 100 proof whiskey from America, could be rye, could be single malt, could be a bourbon, do you actually recommend and love? So I could say, for example, the single barrel from Four Roses. I could say all the Bottle and Bond products from New Riff, either the bourbon or the rye. I could say the Wilderness Trail, new core range, small batch. But I import, together with my partners, N10 bourbons into Germany, the New Riff and the Wilderness Trail. So I'll retract those and stay with the Four Roses single barrel there. That's one of the products that I think is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing, sharing, telling others, and helping this channel grow. And often these are products you won't get. Every once in a while, I do have a product that is actually halfway up to date and available, maybe even in your area. Whiskey Jason here. See you soon. Bye-bye.